Guys, welcome again to another episode of Financial Literacy. My name is Jane Dishu and I'm a financial advisor. Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed to this channel. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. And remember to turn on the notification bell so that anytime I post this content, you'll be notified. And in today's episode, we'll be discussing about 50-30-20 budgeting rule. I know maybe you have heard about this budgeting rule, but guys, I'll be discussing more about it and how you can be able to get it well. And also, I know so many of you have been asking, like, if is this the way that I'm supposed to be budgeting? Is this the standard way that I'm supposed to budget? Or there's some flexibilities around the 50-30 budgeting rule? We'll also discuss that also. And so let us get into it. So when it comes to the 50-30 budgeting rule, I want you guys to know that at this point, we are working with the net income. We are not working on the gross. And so many questions I've gotten that you're supposed to be before we budget is the tithe. So after you have paid the kaisari and you have received your income or your business expenses and such, so the amount of money that you get at that point, you also pay the 10% of tithe if you're a Christian. So the amount of money that you're left with, that will be our net. So our tithe should not be anywhere in the 50-30-20 rule. So 50% of your net income is going to the needs. So when we talk about needs, these are the basic needs or the basic expenses. These are the things that you really need for you to be able to survive or for you to be able to run the life that you are living. So needs might be very different from one person to another person, but for just examples, this is things like rent if you are paying rent. This is like your fuel expenses. This is like maybe your fare if you're using public transport. This is like grocery, food, airtime for those people maybe who might need to make calls here and there. If maybe you're supporting or you have some black tax and you need to sort it, also it goes there because you're feeding someone else. School expenses goes there. So those are the needs, things that you need for you to survive or needs that you need for you to live the life that you're living. So a need is also something that you cannot be able to live without. So when you are thinking of a need, you ask yourself this question: can I be able to live without this thing, or can I be able to live with it? Do I need it for me to live? So if the answer is you need it to live, you need it for you to live, definitely it go under the section of needs. The 30% goes to the wants. So as the name suggests also, wants, it's anything that you can live without, but it makes your life more interesting. So anything that is termed as a luxury or anything that you can survive without, you don't need it actually, but it makes your life more comfortable or more easy for you to live in. These are things like DSTV, Netflix, Wi-Fi to those people maybe who don't work from home. These are things like maybe taking a massage. These are things like maybe eating out, things that you don't actually need, but really they make your life more comfortable, so you might need to pay for them. Also, even those people maybe if you need to buy a designer bag, such thing, you can just get any bag under the need. But now when it comes to want, it's something that makes your life more comfortable. A thin line between the needs and the wants, a very thin line, because to some people, when it comes maybe to Wi-Fi, to some people, maybe if you're working from home, it might be something that you need. But if maybe you use your Wi-Fi for just luxury purposes, it will come at once. So it is a very thin line. The last thing and the most important thing in both of these, the 20% that goes to your savings and investment, and also loan repayment if you have a loan. So when you're talking about 20%, to so many people, if your income is low, you might not be able to diversify your portfolio to a point where maybe you're saving up for your luxury, or maybe you're saving up maybe for your future and such things. But two are things that should be on your savings and investment. Emergency fund. So you need to save up for your emergency fund just in case of anything. You have somewhere you can run to. just in case you lost that income, just in case you have any emergencies, you have somewhere you can run to. The other thing is the retirement fund. These are two basics, like you need them in that 20%. No matter what is happening, you need a retirement plan also, because you cannot just live a life and then you live a life of just paying bills and you did not even retire comfortably. So retirement come next. So when we're talking about 20% on the savings and investment, you also divide that into your short-term savings, mid-term savings, and also your long-term savings. I have a whole video on this savings and investment, so you get to watch it and also understand how you can be able to structure your savings and investment. So guys, some of the few things I want you to learn about this budgeting rule. So much of your money is going to your needs and wants, because it's a total of 80%, and 20% is the only money that is going to paying yourself. When we talk about savings and investment, I have said time and time again, this is the only place you are taking care of yourself. This is the only place you are making your life better, the savings and investment. So for this budgeting rule, I call it a beginner guide. It's not like something you carry on forward. It is not something you use for the rest of your life. It's something for you to begin with. And the reason why we have this budgeting rule is just to have a standard, to just know what is your problem. Why do you keep on borrowing? Why do you feel like your money is not doing enough? Why are you not saving and investing? You're able to know, like, is it the needs? Is it the wants? Is it, do I have so many loans? Like, you're able to identify the problem with this budgeting rule. But it is not the end of it. Our goal at the end of the day is to grow the 20%. So if you started at the 50-30-20 budgeting rule, your goal should be reducing on the 80% on your wants and need, and increasing on the savings and investment. Reasons why I always say 20% of your income might not be enough to make you rich or wealthy, or this budgeting rule might not be enough for you to be rich and wealthy, is because imagine you have to save for your emergency, you have to save for your retirement, you need to save for your kids' education, you need maybe to save for those owning a home, retirement home, and if you are financing any loan, you also need to fix that in between there. So if you are only allocating 20%, it might not be enough for you. So that's why you need to grow it. So the more you are able to save and the more you are able to reduce on the needs and wants, the better for you, because it means you're on the better road of achieving financial freedom. So guys, it's not the end of the day. So I want us to go to a practical example with just a practical amount of money, so that you can be able to understand how you do it or how to calculate this figure. So when it comes to maybe someone who is earning an income of maybe around 100,000 Kenya shillings. So when it comes to, that is a net income, a net income. This is after the tax, after the mandatory deductions, and after the tithing. So we have 100,000. So 50% of the 100,000 is 50,000. So 50,000 should go to your rent expenses, should go to your shopping, should go to everything that you need for your life to be better. And then 30% of 100,000, which is 30,000, should now go to your luxuries. These are the ones, things that are making your life more comfortable. You don't need them, but they are making life comfortable, so you choose to have them within your budget. And then the last thing, 20% of 100,000, which is 20,000. So this is the amount of money that will go to your savings and investment, and also the loan repayment. So to some people, you might find when it comes to your budget and you are only having 20% on your savings and investment, and you want to take a loan, and you're earning an income of 100,000, it's either you cut on your income if the loan repayment is going to be over and above 20,000. There's no way you can only be saving and investing and loan repaying 20,000, and you take a loan where you are paying the full amount of money. You need to strike a balance. That's why I'm saying it's work in progress. At the end of the day, wealthy people don't budget because they have mastered the art of saving more, investing more, and reducing on the amount of money that is going to their expenses. So that's why you find these wealthy people, they don't worry about, have I budgeted? Have I written down my expenses and such things? Because they already know my income is over and above this amount of money. I'm saving and investing the maximum. And let me tell you, the goal is to interchange the wants and the needs. Okay? The goal is to just make sure if you can be able to maximize your savings to be the 50%, that will make you more wealthier. So the more you are able to save and invest, the more you will get to the rich and wealthy part of this thing. Another thing I need you to note about this budgeting rule, it's not fixed. So as I said, one thing might be a need to one person, and another thing might be a need to a different person. So we always say for a budget to be workable, you need to have a flexible budget, because needs this time might not be what we reflect next time. If maybe you're doing a bulk shopping, we might have less money when it comes to next month because you already budgeted for that, or you already baby bought your grocery this time. So it's something that should be flexible. As I have said, this is only a guide to make sure that you're not throwing so much money on your needs and wants, and to make sure that you're maximizing on your savings and investment. It's just a way of just identify what is your problem in there. How do you remain consistent with this budgeting? Make it as flexible as you can be able to do. And then, guys, a tip for you all: you don't budget after you have received an income. So if you're expecting an amount of money, write a budget before. I'm not saying you spend it before. I'm saying you write a budget before. Do not spend money and then at the end of the month you're here sitting down to remember how you spend. No, we budget before we spend. That is a very important thing you need to do. You budget before you spend. So if you're expecting any income, if you're expecting any profits, if you're expecting any payment, dividend, coupons, write down the budget before that money hits the account. It will be so easy because you have guided that money. And guys, I want you to know one thing. If you don't budget, your money is the one that is going to tell you what to do with it. So if you don't have a budget, you'll always be spending. And at the end of the day, you just realize, okay, now I have 2,000. What do I do with the 2,000? So you are guided so much on not what you want, but how much money you have. It should be the other way around. You should be guiding your money, showing your money what to do for you. So if you want something, you should be directing it. A budget is just directing it, telling your money what to do for you. So if you're blindly just working without a budget, it might be so tough for you to achieve your financial goal, and it might take you a long period of time before you realize the problem you have with your spending and your money habits. Okay, guys? So make sure that you have a workable budget. And we have said the goal is to save more and to reduce on our expenses. I hope you have learned something on budgeting. And if you would want to stay consistent on watching this content, remember to subscribe. Remember also to like this content, share it, and also turn the notification bell so that next time I'll post this content, you'll be notified. And until next time, thank you.